Okay, we're going to kick things off with a little bit of technique focus that will hopefully help you get through the 25 licks and then onto the Zakk Attack solo. The first thing that I want to touch base on is vibrato. Now, Zakk is a very, very aggressive guitar player, and I've been lucky enough to sit in a studio with him twice and watch him play and work alongside him, which was amazing. He's a one-take wonder. Here's a track, off he goes. He plays with exceptionally heavy strings on his Les Paul. I believe he has a 60 as his bottom E string, and he's a big guy, and he plays very hard. So with that in mind, his vibrato technique is far from subtle. When you're trying to emulate his style, make sure that your vibrato is very wide and quite fast. If I kick in a bit of overdrive, you can hear the effect that I'm getting by really rapidly pulling the strings. When I'm applying vibrato with the third finger, I pretty much always use my second finger behind or my first finger, I should say. If I'm playing vibrato from my first finger, I tend to kind of change the action a little bit. I don't know whether that's good technique or not, or just the way that I do it. So I'm almost, pulling the wrist quite hard, quite round, quite far. But that is obviously to achieve, quite an intense sounding vibrato. Zakk will also apply vibrato to chords as well if he's... So it's really important to work on the strength of your left hand, and you won't have... he won't be able to achieve the aggression and the intensity that he has in his solos unless you really work on this particular technique. Obviously, it's not going to be suitable for many styles of other styles of music. For instance, if you're playing blues, I'm not going to be playing with this very, 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 very fast vibrato. If I kick in the overdrive, put on the wah pedal. You can hear that it really starts to, kind of sound like him. Get aggressive and really dig in. Okay, the next thing we're going to take a look at are pinched harmonics, and this has become sort of part of Zakk's signature sound. Now, to achieve a pinched harmonic, you are going to need a relatively healthy dose of gain. And it doesn't really matter whether you're using humbucking pickups or single coils. I think that you'll probably achieve them better with humbucking pickups. The idea of the pinched harmonic is that as you strike with the pick, the edge of the thumb actually touches onto the string and sounds a harmonic, sounds a note. If I play the note of C, you can hear me actually getting different notes underneath the C note. If I apply some extra gain with the overdrive pedal, you can really hear that, that harmonic starting to pop out. So as you play, literally pop the pick past the string. You don't want to do a nice clean strike. You have to have it so that the edge of the thumb, touches on the edge of the string to sound the note. Again, if you apply the wide vibrato, really starts to sound nice and aggressive and very heavy metal. So a couple of basic techniques there: vibrato and pinched harmonics, an essential part of Zakk Wylde's sound. Just one other thing before we move on to scales: make sure that you're practicing the pinched harmonics on the lower strings as well. They're a little harder to achieve. Again, that's something that Zakk applies a lot of the time to some of his riffs.